Did you know that nearly 80% of strokes in older adults happen during the night or early morning hours, and some of them are silently triggered by what you drank the night before? That's right. You could be sipping on something seemingly harmless during dinner or even as a midnight treat, and that innocent looking drink could be quietly setting the stage for a stroke while you sleep. According to a massive study published in The Lancet Neurology, a large portion of nocturnal strokes are linked to changes in blood pressure, blood viscosity, and vascular stress, all of which can be profoundly influenced by certain beverages. In fact, scientists are now warning that your bedtime drink could be more dangerous than you ever imagined. And it's not just alcohol we're talking about. Even drinks marketed as healthy can quietly wreak havoc on your blood vessels while you're resting. Some of these are even hiding in your fridge right now. So, what are the most dangerous drinks seniors need to watch out for, especially before bed? Stick around because drink number one on our list is the one you probably thought was actually helping you. But in reality, it might just be the scariest culprit of all. Before we dive in, if you care about staying sharp, healthy, and strong as you age, hit that like button and subscribe. And share this with a friend who needs to hear this too. It might change their life. Number 8. Sugary fruit juices. Fruit juices might seem like a wholesome choice. After all, what could be bad about oranges or apples in liquid form? But here's the thing. When you remove the fiber from fruit, you're basically left with a glass full of sugar and not much else. Drinking orange juice or apple juice before bed might give you a sweet ending to your day, but it also spikes your blood sugar in a way that can quietly damage your arteries while you sleep. Here's why that matters. When you sleep, your body naturally lowers your blood pressure and heart rate to enter a resting state. But if you flooded your system with a high dose of fructose right before bed, your body reacts by releasing insulin and other hormones to process it, which can disturb this calming nighttime rhythm. Not only that, but high blood sugar increases blood viscosity, basically making your blood thicker. And when your blood is thicker, it's harder to pump. That means your heart has to work overtime at night when it's supposed to be resting. This puts stress on your vascular system and raises the chances of clot formation, which is one of the key triggers of stroke. A study published in Stroke Journal linked frequent consumption of sugary beverages with a significantly higher risk of stroke, particularly in people over 60. And don't be fooled by the 100% juice label either. While that may mean no added sugars, it still contains a hefty dose of naturally occurring sugars, stripped of the fiber that slows sugar absorption. So while you think you're doing your body a favor, you might be inviting a dangerous spike that can mess with your overnight vascular health. Number 7. Energy drinks. Now you might be thinking, why would a senior be drinking energy drinks? But believe it or not, many older adults reach for them to fight fatigue or even to get a little mental clarity in the afternoon. Some even consume them thinking they help with brain fog. The truth? These drinks are a ticking time bomb, especially if consumed in the hours leading up to bedtime. Energy drinks often contain sky-high levels of caffeine, combined with other stimulants like taurine, guarana, and ginseng. While that might give you a quick mental lift, it also shoots up your blood pressure, increases your heart rate, and disrupts your sleep architecture. In fact, a study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that energy drinks can significantly prolong the QT interval on an electrocardiogram, a marker of potential heart rhythm disturbances. But here's the scary part. During sleep, your body needs to slow down and regulate blood flow, particularly in the brain. If your heart is being artificially stimulated by these compounds, your blood pressure may not dip the way it should during sleep. That absence of nocturnal dipping, a normal drop in blood pressure, is actually linked with higher risk of stroke, especially in older adults. Add to that the fact that energy drinks can cause dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, which makes your blood vessels more prone to constriction. That combination is like dry leaves waiting for a spark. A stroke doesn't always come with a warning sign. It can arrive silently in the middle of the night, fueled by the jittery aftershocks of a 5 p.m. can of liquid lightning. Number 6. Diet sodas and artificially sweetened beverages. You might have switched to diet soda thinking it's the healthier alternative. No sugar, no calories. What could go wrong? A lot, actually. Studies are increasingly showing that artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose might be doing more harm than good, especially for seniors. In a 2017 study published in Stroke, researchers found a surprising connection. People who drank at least one artificially sweetened beverage per day had a nearly threefold increased risk of stroke and dementia. That's not a small number. The mechanism behind this is still being studied, but here's what we know so far. Artificial sweeteners confuse the body's natural response to sugar. They may alter gut microbiota in a way that promotes insulin resistance and inflammation, both of which are linked to higher stroke risk. At night, these artificial chemicals can also disrupt melatonin production, the hormone responsible for managing your sleep cycle. Poor sleep increases cortisol, the stress hormone, and cortisol raises blood pressure. High blood pressure is the number one controllable risk factor for stroke. Not to mention, many seniors who drink diet sodas also do so with the mistaken belief that it allows them to save calories for more indulgent meals, often leading to poor overall dietary patterns, which compounds the vascular damage. And unlike caffeine or alcohol, there's no immediate buzz to warn you that something's off. These beverages seem safe and quiet, but they could be gradually priming your arteries for trouble while you sleep. Number 5. Hot chocolate. There's something so comforting about curling up with a warm mug of hot chocolate before bed. For many seniors, it brings back cozy childhood memories or helps them wind down after a long day. But behind that creamy sweetness lies a serious cardiovascular risk. Most instant hot chocolate mixes contain a double dose of danger: high amounts of added sugars and saturated fats. Drinking this combo before bed leads to a sharp rise in blood sugar, which we already know thickens the blood and raises stroke risk during the night. But there's more. Hot chocolate often contains a surprising amount of sodium. Yes, sodium in a sweet drink. That sodium can cause fluid retention, which increases blood volume and puts additional pressure on blood vessels. And here's where it gets even trickier. The milk or cream used in these drinks adds saturated fat, which can stiffen arteries over time. When your blood vessels become less flexible, they can't handle sudden changes in pressure as efficiently. Now picture your body lying in bed, trying to relax, while your arteries are dealing with a sugar and salt tsunami. The resulting pressure fluctuations can lead to small tears in blood vessel walls, especially in the brain, an early precursor to stroke. In addition, many pre-made hot chocolate packets contain processed cocoa, which lacks the beneficial flavonoids found in raw cacao. So you're getting all the sugar, fat, and salt with none of the antioxidant benefit. You might think a warm drink helps you sleep, but in reality, it could be setting your vascular system up for a nighttime ambush. If this is helpful so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more science-backed tips to keep you thriving at any age. And hey, share it with someone you love so they can make smarter choices too. Number 4. Alcohol. You've probably heard that a glass of red wine a day might be good for your heart, but let's look at the full story. While a tiny amount of alcohol, especially red wine, might offer certain antioxidant benefits, the window between benefit and harm is razor thin. And for seniors, that window practically slams shut. Alcohol affects the body's hydration levels, thins the blood temporarily, and can cause erratic changes in blood pressure during sleep. These changes don't always happen right away. Sometimes alcohol lowers your blood pressure at first, but causes a rebound spike later during the night when your body metabolizes it. That sudden jump is known as a nocturnal blood pressure surge, and it's strongly associated with stroke risk. Moreover, alcohol disrupts REM sleep and decreases oxygen saturation during the night, especially in older adults. Less oxygen, coupled with vascular instability, can impair the brain's ability to regulate blood flow. And let's not forget, alcohol interacts with medications. Many seniors take blood pressure meds, anticoagulants, or diabetes medications that don't mix well with alcohol. A 2020 review in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases found that even moderate alcohol intake increases the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, the bleeding type, especially in adults over 60. So even if you're sipping just one glass of wine at dinner, it could still interfere with your brain's overnight vascular stability. The worst part, you probably won't feel anything wrong. There's no headache, No racing pulse, no alarm bells. The risk accumulates silently, and the stroke often arrives while you're sleeping, when your body is least prepared to fight it. Number 3. Sports drinks and electrolyte waters. You might think sports drinks are reserved for athletes and sweaty workouts, but they've somehow become popular among older adults, especially those trying to stay hydrated. You'll find seniors sipping brightly colored bottles marketed with words like electrolytes, replenish, or rehydrate. Sounds good, right? Not always. Many of these drinks are loaded with sodium, potassium, and sugar in concentrations that your body doesn't need, especially if you're not sweating profusely. For seniors, this can create a dangerous imbalance in blood pressure regulation and kidney function. Here's the science. The electrolytes in these drinks are designed to hold water in the body by altering the balance of sodium and potassium in your cells. But when consumed inappropriately, they can actually cause the body to retain too much fluid, increasing blood pressure and volume. That's especially risky at night when your body is supposed to be in a state of vascular relaxation. Elevated nighttime blood pressure, called nocturnal hypertension, is a known predictor of stroke in older adults. Worse still, the sugar content in many sports drinks rivals that of soda. That sugar spikes insulin, increases inflammation, and contributes to endothelial dysfunction. That's when the lining of your blood vessels becomes damaged and unable to dilate properly. When your blood vessels lose that flexibility, sudden pressure changes during sleep can result in clots or hemorrhages. Some zero-sugar sports drinks aren't much better. They contain artificial sweeteners and additives like food dyes, which may disrupt circadian rhythm and gut microbiota, both of which play roles in vascular health. And don't be fooled by electrolyte waters either. If you're not losing electrolytes through sweat, you likely don't need to replace them with a drink. A 2023 study published in Hypertension Research warned against the growing use of sports hydration products in sedentary older populations, linking them to hidden spikes in overnight blood pressure and fluid retention. So, while that electric blue drink might look refreshing, it may be quietly lighting the fuse for a vascular crisis while you sleep. Number 2. Flavored coffees and specialty lattes. It's morning, you're at the cafe or maybe relaxing at home, and you treat yourself to a mocha latte or a caramel-flavored coffee. Maybe even a vanilla cappuccino before winding down for the night. But here's the deal. These specialty coffee drinks are sugar bombs in disguise. Many of them contain up to 50 grams of sugar per serving, which is more than what's in a can of soda. Add to that the caffeine content, the whipped cream, and the dairy fat, and you've got a storm brewing in your bloodstream. For seniors, this mix is especially dangerous if consumed in the afternoon or evening. Why? Because caffeine can stay in your system for up to 10 hours, and in older adults, it metabolizes even more slowly. That means your 4 p.m. mocha could still be affecting your heart rate and blood pressure at midnight. And remember, healthy sleep requires stable cardiovascular function. When your blood vessels are still constricted from caffeine and your insulin levels are bouncing from the sugar, your body isn't able to enter restorative sleep. Instead, you end up with higher nighttime cortisol levels, suppressed melatonin, and fragmented sleep cycles, all of which have been directly associated with increased stroke risk in the elderly. A 2021 meta-analysis in Nutrients linked high glycemic load beverages, like sugary lattes, with vascular inflammation and elevated fibrinogen levels, which is a blood clotting protein. High fibrinogen, especially at night when circulation slows, increases the likelihood of clot formation in cerebral vessels. Also, these drinks often use artificial creamers, which are full of trans fats and hydrogenated oils. These fats damage the endothelium, the inner lining of your arteries, and stiffen blood vessels over time. So while the drink might feel like a treat inside your body, it's more like a vascular ambush waiting to happen. And the worst part, it's easy to justify. It's just coffee, you tell yourself, but when you mix in all the extras, you're drinking something that could spike your stroke risk while you're tucked in bed, totally unaware. Number 1. Milkshakes and ice cream-based drinks. And now, the one you've all been waiting for. The single most dangerous drink you could have before bed, especially if you're over 60. Milkshakes and ice cream-based beverages. These drinks combine all the worst offenders into one deadly concoction: extremely high levels of sugar, saturated fats, cholesterol, and often artificial flavorings and stabilizers. A typical milkshake can contain over 500 calories, 70 grams of sugar, and nearly half your recommended daily intake of saturated fat in just one glass. But here's why it's especially bad for nighttime. First, the sugar causes a spike in blood glucose and insulin levels, which disrupts your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest and relaxation. Then the saturated fat slows digestion, keeping your body's metabolism more active at a time when it's supposed to be slowing down. This mismatch between digestion and rest puts the body under internal stress, raising inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6, both associated with increased stroke risk in older adults. But it doesn't stop there. High-fat meals or drinks before bed have been shown to significantly disrupt endothelial function, the ability of your arteries to expand and contract. This leads to overnight vasoconstriction, which means your arteries are literally tightening up while you sleep. That tightening reduces oxygen delivery to the brain and makes it more likely that a clot or plaque rupture could trigger a stroke. A 2022 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high-fat, high-sugar bedtime snacks were directly linked to elevated nighttime blood pressure and reduced cerebral blood flow. And don't forget the cholesterol. These drinks often use full-fat ice cream, which contains cholesterol that contributes to long-term plaque buildup in the arteries. When that plaque becomes unstable, even a slight elevation in nighttime blood pressure can cause it to rupture, leading to a stroke. To make matters worse, milkshakes are cold and creamy, so they go down easy, too easy. You might not even feel full until it's too late, and by then your blood vessels are under siege. Many seniors drink these as a comfort snack without realizing how biologically stressful they are. Your brain needs steady, oxygen-rich blood flow to stay safe during sleep. A milkshake sabotages that from every angle. It's tasty, nostalgic, and yes, dangerous, especially in the quiet hours of the night when your body should be recovering, not fighting off the vascular chaos caused by this creamy ticking time bomb. So, there you have it. 8 seemingly harmless drinks that could be raising your risk of a nighttime stroke without you ever realizing it. From fruit juices and energy drinks to lattes and milkshakes, each of these beverages has unique ways of disrupting your vascular system while you sleep. And that's the scariest part, because you don't feel it happening. You just wake up one day, or maybe you don't, but the good news. Now you know. Now you're aware. And that gives you the power to make smarter, safer choices, especially during those critical hours before bedtime. Protecting your brain doesn't require fancy gadgets or extreme diets. Sometimes it's as simple as saying no to that evening soda or skipping the hot chocolate after dinner. Your future self, alert, mobile, and stroke-free, will thank you. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. You never know, it could be the nudge someone else needs to take control of their health today. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these drinks surprised you the most when it comes to stroke risk during sleep? Or do you have your own nighttime drink habit you're thinking of changing after watching this? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.